So now we just have a little cherry red glow on the end of this pipe that lets me know that it's hot. And it's actually going to be able to stick to the molten glass inside. Glass doesn't want to stick to anything to the cold steel. So go ahead and twisting and turning inside the molten mold of molten glass. And magic, you have a gooey blob of clear molten glass. Just like that. It looks orange in color. It is not orange glass. It's just really hot. The molecules are moving so fast that it's emitting heat and light. If I stop turning, you'll want to fall towards the ground. The two biggest tools in glass blowing are heat and gravity. Is it going to drop? Is it going to drop? No, it's not. You can also use this steel table called a marker to shape and cool the glass. The glass will only move when it's hot, so sometimes we want to intentionally cool the glass in order to shape it, or we want to cool the glass to be able to inflate certain areas, keep other areas up, or in this case, I'm cooling this so I can gather another layer of glass, try to build up mass for our guacamole bowl. Just so you know, every bowl I've ever made in my life is a guacamole bowl, but part of the reason why I say I actually joke a little bit is everything that we make is made out of soda lime glass. So it's a soft glass, it's your bottle glass, it's your window glass. This art glass is engineered for glass artists, intended to be used by us. The formula is intended to be worked longer than bottle glass. It has more elasticity, more working time. But it's basically, it's a very similar recipe that we can use. The issue with soft glass is it doesn't like quick temperature changes. So it's not dishwasher, microwave, or oven safe. And that's all art glass, unless it's borosilicate. Borosilicate is your Pyrex bakeware at home. Pyrex is actually a brand name of glass. It's a boron-based glass. It's a much harder glass. People like myself typically do not have a furnace that you can melt borosilicate glass. There's maybe like 2 artists in the world that melt borosilicate out of a furnace and use it like the way that we do. So I'm going to do one more layer of clear glass, and then I'm going to start to roll it in our crushed color glasses. I might be opening that white bowl. Yeah. I'll strip a little bit off. So I'm going to roll in our crushed up colored glass. Here called flick. And just lay it on the marble. So I'm going to do 2 rolls to make sure I have enough saturated color. So when you go to inflate it, it stretches, but not too much to the point that it lightens the color too much. I want a nice, bright, bold, dense color. So getting the color as close to the surface as possible. We're going to do that one more time. Pretty much like adding sprinkles. Just very, very spicy, hot sprinkles. Just a reminder, if anybody has any questions at all, feel free to shout out. We love audience participation. Has anybody seen the Netflix series called Blown Away? Yes? Pretty awesome, right? Everybody else has homework, right? Yep. It's only about a 32-hour binge watch. Kind of like Fortune Fire or Chopped competition glassblowing show. So just roll this white color here. So this is how I get 2 different layers of colors in our bowls. So I'm separating the two layers by adding white in between them. So we have an inside and an outside, acting as a background for both the inside and the outside colors. Using transparency, translucency, and opacity to build this design. This is something that I've developed over about 10 years, over the last 10 years. Is these different color designs.
So be pretty close to these exact colors we're working with.
I'm adding a little bit more dark green on the outside and a little bit more blue on the inside, I think. Yeah, a little more blue.
Looks like snow caps. Looks like the candy snow caps.
Right? Yeah, right when we roll that, that's that cold glass getting added. Has to go back in there and melt in so it's all nice and cohesive for us. A lot of parts where we're working with two different temperatures of glass. Depending on what we're doing, we either want to get those moving at the same time to inflate it, or later in the process, we're only going to want to specifically heat one part in the glass.
So I think I have enough white color on this piece. Now I have this lagoon black, so transparent darkest lagoon, a black and a dark green. Well, you can see in a lot of the bowls. We'll take the shirt one off. But even then, there's different levels of density. So depending on how many layers I put on, you look very, very different. It's in this tray. I just mixed everything. So there's lagoon, dark green. The black, actually the black is transparent. So there is no true black in glass at all. It's just a deep, 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 deep dark purple. Or green. Terry is a color specialist.
A lot of the colors that you see, they're just going to look black when they're transparent because these colors are designed to be stretched out. So we want a rich color once it's actually stretched out and inflated, so it has to start even darker. So it's like if you held enough beer bottles, green beer bottles up, once it's thick enough, it won't see any light through it, right? So these colors are designed to be very, very dense to where they're almost black until you stretch it out, you won't see it.
So probably at this point, you're all thinking, what are these guys even doing? Do they even blow glass? They haven't even blown any glass yet at all. The inflation process is pretty small in the whole thing that we do. I will start to inflate it after we add the rest of our colors, which is right now. So we have all of our color on this piece for the most part. I'm going to melt that in, shape it with a wet newspaper, and then start to inflate it, if all goes well. There's no guarantees in this game. Actually, I think I'm going to use a wooden scoop first. Either one uses something called a lead-in frost effect that says any superheated material that comes into contact with water makes a vapor barrier of steam. So it's just riding on a little micro level steam bed, hopefully not actually burning the wood. They have the same thing with the wet newspaper that I'm just throwing around. So I'll add some air. I just shaped the glass with wet newspaper. I pressurize the tube by trapping air inside, covering it with my thumb. It should expand here in a second. I think it's going to, yeah, it's getting a little bit bigger. Not too big. You don't want to be get too big too quick. So get a little bit larger. The reason is, if we get too thin, it'll crack or it'll collapse when we heat it. You want to condense this back down, make it small, so we can gather another layer of clear molten glass. It's going to superheat that existing layer. So we'll heat it up, I'll shape it, I'll walk it around for you to see and possibly hold your hand over to feel the heat if you promise to behave. Do you promise?
Yeah.
I heard one person, what do you say? Do you promise?
We promise.
Alright. You got two people. That's good enough for me. Does anybody want to try to hold the wet newspaper? No? Nobody? Alright, so this is really, really hot. You can hold your hand above it. Do not touch it, okay?
Yeah.
People ask if we ever get burned, and the radiant heat is enough to actually give us like a heat rash or a suntan. I'll walk around.
So you can see that looks black right now. That's because that green is going to stretch out. It'll be green once it stretches out much further.
So the question is, how hard is it to inflate? When it's hot, it's really, really easy. Really easy if you can turn it while it's moving. When it's 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, it doesn't move. So in between like 1,200 and 2,000 degrees is your working range. 2,000 is like a whisper of air can inflate it. So we're probably below 1,000 degrees, just hard as it is on the tables. When I go back in, gather. Yeah, I'm gonna gather. Twist and turn inside the furnace. When I come out, typically when everybody says, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Awesome, thank you very much. So we have that new molten glass. We're waiting for it to build up a skin. It actually has surface tension. It is a liquid. I do not have a big enough scoop for what we're making right now, so I'm improvising a little bit. Shaping with the back of the scoop. This is a cherry wood. It's always made out of fruit wood because it holds moisture really well. Now I'll use my paper. Get some food on this here. So this is a Kevlar sleeve. It's going to protect me from leaks. You might be ideal. That paper is a little bit thin, so I think I'm going to switch to the marker. We'll come out and I'll take it with me later at the furnace. Thank you. So we want to cool the tip of the glass because we want that to inflate glass. So just by touching it to the steel, I'm cooling it so it won't want to inflate or move as much as the rest of the glass. At least that's the idea. It's really hot down there. You can notice by the color of it, there's a lot more heat there than towards the pipe, right? A little bit of air there. Anybody have any questions at all? How does the pipe not get hot?
Before you grab it.
Yeah. The balance point is a little bit in front of here, but I'm not willing to grab up that high. Typically where it's the color changes, where it's tarnished, is where it's going to be hot. We're only going so far into the furnace. And there's a lot of surface area between that point and where I'm grabbing, so good job on this one. So we're going to make a constriction off the head of the pipe so the attach the piece and be able to detach the piece. I got it. Get a little bit of air.
Right?
Yeah. Off for a second. You get a lot more done with two people. On. Off. Change and shake quite a bit, huh? On, please. Off. You have to be mindful, if we get bigger than the furnace, that's the end of the piece, whether we want it to be or not. So you notice I'm getting pretty close to that size. I'll elongate it a little bit, but you don't want to get too large. On. Off. On. Off. We'll start. Maybe consider. All right, so at this point, I'm just gonna let this cool down a little bit. We have most of our shape for right now. It's gonna change a lot, but we're gonna add a base to this, so it'll sit. It'll have a nice wavy, thick base, so it's not gonna fall off the table. But as it cools, we'll start to see some of the color design a lot more. We can't let it cool too much, but a good amount.
Thank you.
Now walk this around. Thank you. People wonder how heavy this is. It's probably only about 7 or 8 pounds of glass, but it feels more like 25 to 35, I'd say, just because of the leverage that it has away from me. Can you feel the heat? Let's case that. Let's case that. Stay a little bit heat.
2 rounds of good.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That's awesome. Pretty wild, huh? Yeah. If you like what we're doing and you want to see more, we are on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and we have an online Etsy store as well. We travel all over the country demonstrating glass blowing. Good. There we go. So we got a nice hot blob of molten glass to shape as the base.
How much longer for these?
So we wanted that temperature difference of the bubble to that molten glass so we can sculpt and shape that mass before the rest of it heats up. So I'm going to go ahead and try grabbing that mass with that wet newspaper. Hopefully it wasn't too hot from previous use. On. Off. So that base is really, really hot. There's a lot of mass on it. And then you use this torch to try to heat up the rest of it to try to equalize the temperature in the whole piece. Sherry's making something called a punch piece. It's this new handle that we're going to put this piece onto once we're done with the blowpipe. What I'm really trying to avoid giving this bottom any more heat at all. Just want to make sure that that's still flat. It's still going to sit on the counter. Might not look like it, but it's probably still moving. Let's give it a whole nother class. Just the fact that I can still see red means that I can reheat that connection and make it a little bit harder for us. So we're just going to take one more heat to try to let that base cool off. I do have to go back into the furnace so to make sure that it doesn't, the whole piece doesn't get too cold. So we're just going to try to hit the center of this piece. I'm not trying to take a nap right now. One of you will turn this and turn it on center so it's not like you're turning a bent rim. So I'm feeling for the punchy going up or down. You lift your back hand a little bit. How do you feel? Says he's ready. So 3, 2, 1. And just a light tap and it comes off.
Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to add an accented rim to this guacamole bowl. Terry's gathering a little bit of glass and rolling the black. And then once we have this width of this vessel will kind of soften a little bit, we'll wrap it around the top of the bowl. And it'll forever have a black rim. A little bit of heat on the front of this. And shape it so be easy to add that rim. I'm ready for you, Terry.
Almost really.
Okay. 5. Does it look like a guacamole bowl yet? Nope.
It's like a base.
Who's that?
Just adding that rim, wrapping around the top of the vessel. Pull it, hit, and it just strings off. So that is a new black rim around the top of it. We are getting very close to the size of this archway. Trying to be very mindful of that. On. Off. On. Off. Good.
It looks pretty nice right now, but we added all those bright colors on the inside of the bowl too.
So it's going to be a trick trying to open this up because we are so big. Just trying to cool in front of this as much as possible. Just that little bit of skin showing is enough for me to want to stop what I was doing.
That little opening's gonna become the rim of the big floppy bowl. Almost there, you're not gonna want to miss it. Don't miss it.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Stretching it with centrifugal force. It's too cold to condense back down, so it can only ripple to come back to the center.
And you might be able to feel the heat once I put this up on this table. Woo! It's hot over here, huh?
Yes.
Trying to keep that connection so we can detach it by adding stress to that point. If I've done this correctly, see, get a 3, 2, 1, just like that.
Only hang out for about 60 seconds outside of the heat.
You want to leave it? No. Into the edge a little bit more. Yep, perfect, awesome. That's it. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming out and watching and spending your time with us here at Art Class Academy. We hope you have an amazing evening. We're going to be hanging out for a little bit longer, making work, answering questions. Please feel free to hang out as well. And we hope to see you again very shortly.